Hi and welcome to Crafty Ladybug. Today's tutorial is going to be on flounder. This goes with my Little Mermaid Under the Sea theme series that I have going out. Please also see some other creations that are in this series, such as Sebastian, Prince Eric, King Triton and his sword, and also Ariel, the Little Mermaid. Other items will be coming to coordinate and accent soon. Today's tutorial, as stated, is going to be on flounder. Flounder is going to be made in multiple parts, and your loom needs to be set in a standard configuration. So get that set up in a standard configuration, and the arrows are going to be pointing towards our body. Many people ask how I begin to create my pieces. I simply go to the internet, print out a picture or photo of a character, and I try to do my best representation of that character from the photo. And keep in mind that we are using rubber bands, so it's hard to be exact with it. So today's flounder is going to have black eyes, and I use pony beads for the eyes. My daughter didn't like how the white looked, so she wanted me to try black, which I'm going to be trying today. So here we have the white, and as stated, I'm going to be switching to black. So we need 2 white mini pony beads or black, yellow rubber bands, 2 shades of blue, and 1 piece of pink for his little tongue. Let's begin today's tutorial by making his fins, Flounder's fins. Flounder didn't want to stay still today. Just prop him up right there so we can still see him. So we're going to be making the fins, and we're going to be doing the face area first after we've made the fins. Going to begin with the loom once again stated in the standard offset configuration. On peg number right 1, you want to take 1 band and go from peg 1 to 2. You want to take another single blue band from 2 to 3. You want to take another single band, and we're going to go from peg 2 to center peg 3. Take your different color blue, 1 single band, and we're going to go from peg center 4 to right number 2, forming a really long diagonal. We want to take our lighter shade of blue again, and we're going to do a cat band on this long diagonal, a 4-time cat band. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just going to push that back down. I need to do another cat band on center 3 to right 3, and that is going to be a single darker blue band, double twisted, and placed on the loom there. Going to do the same thing directly below to make the second fin. So we're going to go from peg, open peg 1, 2, 3, 4 to peg 5, peg 5 to 6, move from the center peg there over to the diagonal. Then you're going to take your lighter blue shade and form a really long diagonal right here. If I'm going too fast, hit the pause button to catch up. On the end of where your long blue diagonal is, you want to do a 4-time cat band. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Across these 2 dark blue pegs, we want to connect those 2 with a single band double twisted and place that right on there. Now we want to loom our fins, and this is going to be a little different looking than what you normally have made, but you want to loop in that cat band, that light blue cat band, and go all the way over to the diagonal. You want to come down on the right side, pushing back the cat band, and come straight forward. Reach in on the center, push that cat band back, and go over to the right. Now on the right, you want to reach in, grab that single band, and come straight forward. And I'm going to pull this off the loom now using a toothpick so I can show you guys what's going to happen. Okay, So here our fin is looking like this. You just need to tug on that double twist band that you have there. Give it a nice little tug. And here we have a cute little flounder fin. I'm going to loop the second one, reaching into the light blue cap band, going all the way over to the long diagonal, pushing back the dark blue, coming straight forward, pushing back the dark blue, coming over to the right, pushing back all that mess, grabbing that single band and coming straight forward. Take it off the loom using a toothpick, wooden skewer, hook, anything. Get that off there. And just give it a little tug. Whoop. Lost my end loop there. Just give it a little tug, a little stretch. And here we have Flounder's second fin. And we're just going to set those aside for a couple minutes. Now we're going to be working on his face area. And the face area we're going to do on the upper portion of the loom. And then for his fins, we're going to start the side part of his body. We're going to start at a lower aspect of the loom. So I'm going to lay everything out one time, and then we're going to get through this together because it's going to be a couple different steps. So just follow along and hit pause if you need to. Take 2 yellow bands from left to center, 2 yellow bands from center to right, 2 yellow bands coming down the center. We're going to switch to 2 dark blue bands on the left, 2 dark blue bands on the right. The next is going to be 1 dark blue, 1 yellow. That's going to go on the left, and on the right we've got 1 dark blue, 1 yellow coming on the right. Our center is going to be 2 yellow bands. Okay. Next on the left, we're going to go 2 yellow, center, 2 yellow, right, 2 yellow, left again, 2 yellow, center, 2 yellow, right, 2 yellow. Need to come back to the center again with 2 yellow. Then we need to close off this diagonal. It's going to be 2 yellow and 2 yellow. Okay, now we're going to do our securing bands or horizontal bands that we need. Excuse me. You want to take a single yellow in the cheek area here, and you want to take another single yellow and form a triangle above that, another single yellow forming a triangle above that, a single yellow with a double twist forming a triangle above that piece. Now we need to take the eyes and place the eyes on. So you want to take a single yellow band and just thread your band beads onto that band just by pushing the band right through that opening of the mini pony bead. Push that through there. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it on 1, 2, 3, peg 3 to peg 4. Peg 3 left. I'm sorry, peg 3 left to 3 right. Straight across. And just separate out your eyes a little bit so that you don't have them right in the center where that center band's going to be. Now for Flounder's tongue, you want to take the single pink band and just tie a knot in the center of it. If you don't know how to tie a knot in the center, just do your best and try, or you don't have to have a tongue on him, but I think the tongue just adds a little bit of detail and decoration. For this, you've got your knot in the center, and you want to take and put this on the second peg on the center from the bottom, and you just want to lay that across that center peg there. Now we need to add Flounder's fins, and they're going to go at the cheek area. So there's fin left, and here is fin right. Okay, now we're going to be doing some basic looping. Oop, no we're not. I forgot to do my cap band down here on the bottom. This is going to be a 2-time cap band. 1 band twisted 2 times. 1 and 2. Now we can begin to loop. And reach into that cap band. Grab your 2 bands on the top, which go off to the right. 2 bands going off to the left. 2 bands coming up the center. And we're just going to loop all the way up the center. Push back your tongue area, grab your 2 yellow bands, and we're just going to continue to loop all the way up the center. And stop there. Now we're going to do the left side. Loop forward, forward, straight forward looping here. Oop, that piece fell off, and that's okay. Take your diagonal over. Come down here on the right. Grab your 2 bottom bands. Come forward, forward. And finish off the diagonal. Okay, now to secure our bands at the top, we're going to be using 2 dark blue bands, and that's going to make part of his fin area. So you want to take your 2 dark bands, slide your hook into that top loop, those top pegs, pull the 2 bands through and slide it back on, and just tie a slip knot right there in the center. Be sure to hold on to your slip knot, or just pull it off to the side for a moment. And that is going to be our flounder face. Before we start our flounder, or before we take our flounder face off, I want to lay my first section of his body off. And if you guys can imagine, we're going to be laying one side here. We're going to attach flounder, loop half of him. I'm going to lay another side of his body, attach his face on this end, and then lay and loop the rest of him into his tail. So this is actually 2 pieces, and then the tail is 1 piece. And this is a layering technique that we're going to be doing. Just follow along and hit pause if you need to. So where this cap band was, we're going to move right down to the next peg, and you're going to be taking 1 light blue in the center. You need to take an additional light blue and go from the center up to the right. Additional light blue, 1 band from center up and to the left. Then we need to take 2 dark blue bands, and we're going to go on the left side here and place those down. 2 left bands on the right side, place those coming down. 2 more 2 more bands on the left side, 2 more bands on the right side. I'm sorry for that slight pause and interruption. Let me begin again by just saying that on the left side we have 2 bands in dark blue, 2 bands in dark blue. On the right side we have 2 bands in dark blue and 2 bands in dark blue. We're going to work on the center now, which will be 2 bands of light blue. And then we're going to switch to 1 band of light blue in the center. You want to secure off this diagonal with a single dark blue band going from left down to center. Another single dark blue band going from center to right. I'm going to pull that up a little closer so you guys can hopefully see the blues there. Have your tail looking much like this. 2 bands, 2 bands, 1 band. 2 bands, 2 bands, 1 band. 1 in the center, 1 at each diagonal, 2 in the center, 1 band. Now we're going to begin to lay Flounder's body. We're switching back to yellow. It's going to be 1 band from center to left, down on a diagonal. 1 band from center to right, down on a diagonal. 1 band in the center, coming straight down. We're going to do 2 bands on the left, 2 bands on the right, 2 bands on the left, 2 bands in the center, 2 bands on the right. Next will be 2 bands on the left again, 2 bands in the center, and 2 bands on the right. Okay, and you want to push that stuff down. Then we want to take, and we need to add a couple horizontal bands in here. A single band forming the triangle starting above the first set. A single band forming a triangle above that. We come up here to the tail area, and you need to do 1 band double twisted in dark blue to form your triangle there. And then a single band, no twist, going from the center portion of the tail and forming the triangle there. Before we begin to loop, which we're just about to do, I need to take the face off of the top of Flounder, and then I'm going to move it down here. So take your hook and remove your face from the top portion of the loom. And those of you that follow along with my videos know I don't like to just rip it right off. I use the back of my hook. You can also use a wooden skewer. It just makes it so that you have less fiddling to do when it actually comes off the loom. So here we have Flounder's face. I'm just going to tug and tighten a little bit. And I already can tell that I prefer the white eyes better. So it's entirely up to you what color eyes you want to use, but I just prefer the white. I like the way he looks better with the white eyes, but I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Okay, this is going to be part of his fin. Don't cut it, don't do anything with that yet. I want you to take your Flounder and I want you to turn him slightly to the right. So you're going to be having your Flounder like this, and we're going to place it on these 3 pegs here. We're going to place the back side. So at that portion, you just want to sort of lay Flounder on the front. His little fin portion is going to be pointing towards your right. And what we're going to do is to take the inner portion of this outside band, or out of this row right here. Here's the outside row. We don't want those loops. We want these inside loops. And you're going to be grabbing 3 of them. 1 right here, 1 right here, and 1 right here. So you want to take that and just grab the 2 bands and connect it onto the loom. Grab your next 2 bands, they're going to be yellow, and place that onto the center peg of the loom. And then your next 2 bands, one's going to be yellow, one is going to be blue, and you're going to be placing that onto the loom. Like so. So his face is going to be pointing towards the table. His fin area is pointing towards your right. and you've got 3 pieces connected right here. The next thing that we need to do is begin to loop, and we're only going to loop up to the tail portion. So on the left, you want to reach in, push back on that band that you just laid there. That's what we're using as a cat band. And you're just going to loom straight forward. Once you've reached the diagonal, you want to take that one over to the center and stop right there. Now we're going to do the same thing in the center, and we're just going to loom straight forward and stop right there at the gathering point before the tail. On the right side, we're looming straight forward, and we're going to stop once again right at the tail area. Now where all these yellow bands are, you're going to take your hook and you're going to push all those yellow bands down, because now we need to work on the second layer, his other side of the body. To do that, we're going to be laying the same pattern that we just laid for the one side. So it's going to be a single yellow band going from the center peg over to the left. You want to make sure you got things pushed down really well. A single yellow band going from center to right. 2 bands on the left. 1 band in the center. 2 bands on the right. 2 bands on the left. 2 bands on the center. 2 bands on the right. At the bottom, we have 2 bands on the left, 2 bands on the center, 2 bands on the right. We need to add our horizontal bands in here, which is going to be 1 band from the second pegs up from the bottom, forming a triangle, and then 1 directly above that. Before we begin to loop this area and this fin, we need to connect his face. And you're going to be grabbing the inner portion again, the second row in, not this loop here. You want to grab the second one up, and you're going to grab those 2, pull down on flounder a little bit, and just take your hook and loop those around these pegs. And this one's going to the center, and then this one's going to have yellow and blue in it going to the right peg. You want to keep a hold of flounder, push him down slightly, and we're going to begin to loop now. So push back what you're using for the cat band, which is flounder, his face, and you want to loop forward on the left, push beyond that cat band and grab the top 2 yellow ones. Don't reach all the way through, and come forward. Push back that top yellow cat band, reach down in, grab your 2 yellow, come forward. Now we've reached the diagonal to the center. I'm going to start on the right side, pushing back those top pieces, and I'm grabbing the 2 yellow bands. Push back my cat band here, grabbing the 2 yellow bands, top 2 yellow bands, push back the cat band, come forward again, finish off the diagonal. Now we're going to reach into the center, and you want to grab the top 2 bands, come forward in the center, top 2 bands, forward in the center, top single band, forward in the center. Okay, ooh, come on, hook. So here we have a lot of stuff on this peg right there. And I'm going to pick up the loom now so you guys will hopefully be able to see what we've got going on. There's a ton of yellow bands on top of all this blue. Or on top of those 3 blue. And I'm just trying to get the yellow out of the way. You want to reach in, grabbing only your top blue band. So push back all those yellows. You want to grab the top blue band down there, and it's going to go off to the right. And it's a single band, so there's a lot of tension on it, trying to get it through all those yellows that we have there. Once again, top blue band. This one's going off to the left. Reach in here again. Bottom band, which should be a light blue, and go to the center. Reach into the left, grabbing the 2 bands there. You're going to come up the left side. Reach into the left, come up to the left side, and we're going to stop here for a minute. Actually, let me take that one left that we just put forward and place it back on the below hook. Don't do that loop yet. We have another step to do. I forgot about his little puffy part for the tail. So for that tail area, you're going to take a single band, run it around your hook 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got a band wrapped 4 times around your hook. Take a single band and pull over or through and reclaim the other end of that single band. That's a puffy. I call it a puffy. And then place it on the end of your left fin. And we need to do the same thing for the right side. 1 band, 1, 2, 3, 4 times around. And this is dark blue. Pull that band through and reclaim, and then place it on the top portion of your fin on the right. Sorry about that. Now we can get our 2 loops and place it back on that forward peg. Reach into your left diagonal. You're going to go through that mess, and you want to grab the 2 or the 1 light blue. You're going to reach in, and you're actually pulling it down towards the center. We need to do the same thing on the right side. Reach into our right, 2 forward, push back the cap band, 2 forward, and we've reached the corner of our fin area, which you're going to reach in, grab the single light blue, do an awkward movement, pulling it center down. And this got a lot of tension on it, so I'm just running my hook around it to relieve some tension. If you forget this next loop, your whole creation will fall apart. I don't want to, we're not going to get into how many times I forgot that loop. But don't forget to grab this loop here in the center of his fin. So we reach in, we grab the 2 light blue, and finish off the center area there. Then we went to reach in there and grab our single blue band and come straight forward. Now this single blue band that we just did straight forward is actually our securing band. I want you guys to take the bottom portion of that band and pull it over that top portion. You just made a slip knot right there for your creation. I'm going to place my hook in that band, secure it with my finger, and then I'm going to use the back of my hook or a skewer to take the creation off the loom. Do not just rip this off the loom. If you do, you will mess it up. You will have it fall apart. A band will break, and you'll be mad at me. And I don't like it when people are mad at me. So just take, because there's so much on everything, you want to just take your hook and pull off flounder. So here's flounder, side of his body, his head, his face, his little tongue. Oops, I forgot his nose, guys. I'm so sorry, I forgot to put his nose on. But we can do an easy fix for his nose. His nose, I want you just to take 2 bands, wrap them around, and tie a knot. And then we are just going to slide his nose up in that inside. Grab a band on each side and pull it through. And be sure to unhook it there. And here we have a cute little nose for Flounder. Oops. Okay, so let's try that again. Secure his nose in there just by pulling it through. I didn't grab that second loop. You just want to get a little nose in there. Just tuck it down in. There we go. So we got a little nose on Flounder and his fins and his top portion there. And now we need to connect our two pieces together and also give Flounder some texture here on the side. So when we do this, this is what's going to happen. You want to take your hook and at the base of the neck where your blue bands connect, top blue bands connect with the yellow on the side, you want to take and you want to claim two of those bands. And then you want to take a single blue, pull that single blue through those two, and secure it back on your hook. Take one end of that off, and I want you to grab the two puffy pieces at the top and then secure it back on your hook. So you've got one end of the single band, your two securing bands from the top of the fin, and then the blue band that we just ran through the base of Flounder. And then we're going to take another blue band, pull through, and secure that off in a slip knot. So for each slip knot, we're going to be attaching it in to where I'm adding the blue color on his body. So our next step is going to be to go into the first group of loops, and you just want to pierce straight through his body and come out the other side. We're going to take a single band. Let's pull that back out. We need to go down one more. You want to go to the center section of his body here, and you want to pierce right through the center and come out the other side on the center. That's where we want to pull through one blue band. So for that blue band, you're going to have your finger on one side holding, your hook on the other side holding. And then we need to push in through the top one and pierce straight through, and then reclaim the other side of the blue. So your hook is securing part of his stripe down his body. Take another blue band, pull through, grab your top portion of your fin, that other securing band, and here we go. We're going to pull through another blue and secure that off in a slip knot. This technique might take you a little while and a few tries. Please just stick with it. Continue, pause, and watch. This area of the body, we're going to take the second row, which is the center of the fish, pierce all the way through, come out the other side in the same area, and we're going to take a single blue, pull through, finger on one side, hook on the other, and loop through the top set of bands, piercing all the way through and placing your other blue on the other side. Pull through one blue band, reclaim your top fin, and secure the other side. And we're going to be pulling a single band through. If you're a crocheter, you might be kind of familiar with this technique a little bit. I don't know what it's really called. I just sort of figured it out on my own. We're going to be securing this one off in a slip knot. Okay. And the next one will be at the very back portion of the fin, and you just need to grab the top half, push through, Pull a single band through, and then we're going to be reclaiming our dangle band on this one, and reclaim the other side. And we're just going to slip knot that little stripe off. And here we've got Flounder's puffy little fin area. And for this last slip knot, I just hide it down in the tail. Just pull that down into the tail area. And your back slip knot, holding the whole entire fish together, needs to be really tight and secure. And you want to hide that down in your tail area as well. And I use jelly bands, so they're slipperier than others. Just want to make sure you've got that really tight. And just hide that in there. And here we have our cute little flounder. And you guys can actually tie the knot tighter down in there. My piece keeps popping out, but just keep playing with it and tie the knot for Flounder tighter in the center there. Tuck his little tongue in. But your flounder will look very similar to the flounder that I have here. And once again, I said if you like the white eyes or if you like the black eyes, with a little bit of practice, it might take you a couple tries to get him. But here we have Flounder from The Little Mermaid. Thank you guys so much.